First of all, guys, welcome into another NBA DFS video. We have the Christmas 5-game slate. With that, I want to just wish you guys happy holidays. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. Going to be going through game by game, breaking this down so that if you guys are doing showdown slates, you guys can apply that knowledge to the showdown, but also you can apply it to the full 5-game slate as well. So if you guys enjoy this coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. All right, let's get into it. And I got the Christmas lights going on in the background. That's what the setting is on the lights that I have. I don't know if it really screams Christmas. I don't know if you guys would agree with that or not, but it is what it is. So we got the Sixers versus the Knicks, the only team on the slate that have actually played their opponent previously. But when we look at it, a lot of the Sixer players were out. So we can't really draw any conclusions from this game. A lot of the Knicks players went off because it was without James Harden, without Joel Embiid. So we can't really take that much out of it. Okay, so I'll start with the Knicks. I think Jalen Brunson is at a soft price point. Like, he should be locked into getting around 30 points or so. DK points, that is. He's been a highly consistent player. Even in tougher matchups, kind of been able to go off. Like, Toronto's a tough matchup. Wasn't exactly shooting the ball the best. Hasn't actually shot the ball the best the last 2 games. You kind of expect that to be corrected. All these players on Christmas Day, I feel like they're all going to step up and play a little bit better. They want to play well on Christmas, obviously. So I think he's going to be a fine price point play, not exactly someone you're going out of your way to play. Quickly as well, decent price point play. Like, you're shooting for upside, you're shooting for 20 DK points at 4.8. He could be a play that you're looking at. I would feel like those two are going to be more of showdown plays rather than main slate plays. Quentin Grimes, I don't really want to play. RJ Barrett is going to be interesting. RJ Barrett did go off against the Sixers the last time out, and he has been someone that has been playing extremely well, at least the last 2 games. Okay, 58 and 45 DK points. Like, if you want to take a risky GPP upside play, he would be that play. I don't particularly love it, especially because we only can play him at small forward or forward. I like the multiple positional eligibility. Julius Randle, I feel like he's priced up a little bit too much as well. It wouldn't be shocking to see him go for 40, maybe in 50 DK points. And sure, if you had the salary left over, by all means, go for it. He probably will get a double-double, but at the same time, I don't know. I've been having a tough time ending up on him thus far. Decent play, not a play that I love. And then looking at the Knicks, kind of my thought process would be, is Mitchell Robinson going to get into foul going against Joel Embiid? That's what I'm wondering. Okay, in his last game out against Chicago, terrible. Okay, didn't have the rebounds. It's been 2 straight games in which he hasn't really gotten rebounds, and he's not someone that's really shooting the ball too much. I do worry about him getting into foul trouble. If he were to get into foul trouble, Isaiah Hartenstein would be someone we could potentially look at. He's been playing about 20 minutes the last 3 games, obviously not putting up much, but on a slate in which you might be forced into trying to find value. Like, it is a Christmas Day slate. Players are going to try to play if they can, so he might not have that much value. He could be someone we're potentially looking at if no value opens up on the slate. That's kind of my long way of saying I don't really love any of the Knicks players. Maybe Randall, maybe Barrett. Okay. And then we're looking at Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is going to be priced down a little bit, just given the fact that this is the Christmas Day slate. I mean, I feel like he should be a 12K player is what I'm trying to say. But you got Luka, you got LeBron, you got Giannis. They can't really price him up because of that. Okay. And DraftKings does want to make it fun for everyone. They want people to have a good lineup going into the Christmas slate. So that's my kind of long way of saying that Joel Embiid probably going to go for 50 plus DK points. Okay. He's just been extremely consistent. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games thus far when looking at his game log where he didn't score over 50 DK points. Okay. Love the upside, averaging 57 DK points on the season. I think he's going to be someone that does go out and have a great game. Now looking at James Harden. James Harden is also someone I want to be playing, especially showdown wise. The upside's just there with him. Okay, sure. Is he locked into hitting value? No, he's not, but he's a strong GPP play. Okay. Especially given the matchup against the Knicks, a matchup that gives up a lot of points to guards, James Harden makes a lot of sense. And once again, I think just with it being Christmas, the stars like James Harden, like Joel Embiid, are going to be more likely to go off. Then Melton, like, I feel like if Maxi's back, you can't play Melton. I don't really like Maxi as well. Tobias Harris continues to see his price make him an appealing play. He just hasn't been that productive. It's tough to play him is what I'm trying to say there. Power forward wise, I don't think we really need to play anyone. So, not too many players that we're trying to go out of our way to play in that game. Now we get into the Lakers versus Dallas game. This game is going to be appealing. Okay. Starting with the Lakers. Anthony Davis is still going to be out. And then Thomas Bryant is currently questionable. If he were to sit, guys, we'd be looking at Gabriel as a just standout value price point play. He'd be someone that we would have to go out of our way to play on this slate. Just would be someone you can't really pass up on, especially given the fact that you can play him at power forward or center. That would open up a ton. So I am kind of low-key hoping that Bryant sits, because that would open up so much on the slate. It would make the lineup process so much easier. Okay, so that's what I'm shooting for. Obviously, I think we can go back to the well with LeBron James. Had a poor game somewhat in his last game, and he still scored 51 points. Okay, just didn't have that many assists, didn't have that many rebounds. He still scored enough. He still had the shot attempts. So that's all encouraging to me. The chances are he's going to get more assists, more rebounds. Okay, maybe not more assists, but more rebounds, to the point where he could potentially get 60 DK points. So he is someone where I think I'd rather play him with AD out, because he averages over 50 fantasy points per game with AD out, with a usage rate of over 30. Like, we want to be playing him. Okay. At that point, though, we probably couldn't play Harden or Embiid. That it makes it very difficult. I think Westbrook's going to continue to be a very safe play at his price point. The weird thing is, the last two games, guys, 25 and 23 minutes. Like, what is going on there? Let's get him some more minutes. Let's get him to 30 minutes. Okay. If that were to happen, then he'd be scoring like 40 points. Like, he is putting up 30 plus DK points in very limited minutes. Please get him some more minutes so he can be a more productive player. I like him as a play. I think he's a strong price point play, a safe play. If he does get a few more minutes in this game, then he's someone we're really trying to go over our way to play. We can't really project that, but that is something in GPPs I'll definitely maybe take a look at, because if he does get 30, 33 minutes, he probably will go off for 40 DK points. Would have a chance to score a double-double or triple-double and double-double. So Westbrook is someone I'm firmly looking at. It's like, if you can't play Harden, it does make sense to try to play a little bit of Westbrook. Austin Reeves is someone that should be a strong price point play. At 4.1, he does feel like he's a little bit too cheap. Look at the production over the last 4 games. Over 30 minutes on average in all of those, averaging over 25 DK points on average in all 4 of those as well. If we even get 20 DK points at 4.1 on a small 5-game slate, I will kind of take that. He is someone that does get a big minutes bump with AD off the court as well. So it's not shocking that he should get around 30 minutes. So at this price point, and given the fact that we can play him at guard and forward position eligibility, I like that. He is someone I will be looking at on this slate. And that's kind of it for the Lakers. Let's get into Dallas. Obviously with Dallas, guys, if you can afford to pay Luka in your builds, you want to be doing that. I mean, he continues to go off. Just the question is, are we going to get 50 DK points or, the upside game? It's a big question mark. It still is going to be a good matchup going against the Lakers, a team that other teams can score against. And he just went off against Houston, which is a very similar matchup, higher scoring, easier scoring type of game. Obviously Christmas Day, I think players will be a little bit more motivated to play well. If you can find a way to play Luka, please go ahead and do it. So looking at Spencer Dinwiddie, not really someone I would be going out of my way to play on the slate. I feel like he's a little bit too priced up. Tim Hardaway Jr., probably not playing him as well. I feel like the only way we could play someone like him is if Reggie Bullock, DFS, all those players are out. Then he should be, forced into a little bit more minutes. Christian Wood not getting enough minutes the last few games as well. Tough to play him in that scenario, especially at that price point. We got to wait and see though on the injury news. Like if DFS sits, Davis Bertans could be someone we're looking at. So we just kind of got to wait and see on the confirmation of that. Maybe Christian Wood gets locked into a few more minutes. If he does get 30 plus minutes, 35 minutes, would be a player that could easily go for 40 DK points, especially in a favorable matchup against the Lakers. We just got to wait and see on that. So if Thomas Bryant does play though, guys, just going back to the Lakers side, very good price point for him as well. Okay, price down a little bit. Okay, and you would imagine he would still get 30 or so minutes, still going to get the rebounds, has a chance to get a double-double. I feel like this is too cheap of a price tag for him. Okay, especially in a higher scoring game, you would think that there would be more rebounds available. So Thomas Bryant is going to be someone that, just given the price point, if he plays, we're playing him. If he sits, then we're playing Gabriel. It's kind of as simple as that. Now getting into Milwaukee and Boston, probably the 2 best teams in the league right now. We'll start with Milwaukee. So Giannis is a very high price tag player on the slate. I don't know. I feel like he's going to be a very safe 50 DK point play. I just don't know if he's really going to go out and break the slate, go for 70, go for 60. Very strong price point play, but I feel like we could get his production with Joel Embiid, with LeBron James at a much cheaper price tag. It's more safe though, I would say. Drew Holiday at a very kind of safe price point as well. I kind of expect him to go for 40 plus DK points in this matchup. He is also someone I think will be a very safe play as well. Then from there, I'm not saying play Pat Connaughton, play Grayson Allen, but I will say one of those guys could get hot shooting. That's kind of them. Whereas the teams are putting more defensive attention on Giannis, to try to stop him in the paint. Easily, I feel like this could be a game in which he's kicking out some passes and one of those guys gets hot and starts draining threes. Bobby Portis, I feel like he is kind of priced up a little bit too much. Not really someone I'm trying to go out of my way to play. Brook Lopez, a decent price point play as well. Feel like he's a little bit too cheap. Brook Lopez at 5.9 for a guy that's already averaging 30 DK points on the season could easily go for 30 plus DK points. Especially looking at the Boston Celtics, they could potentially be without Robert Williams. If he were to sit, that becomes a more favorable matchup for someone like Brook Lopez. So maybe instead of going Joel Embiid at center where we're trying to get 60 DK points, maybe we try to get that 60 DK points with the same pricing, adding up it, Thomas Bryant plus someone like Brook Lopez to equal about the same price point as Joel Embiid to try to get that same production. We're trying to moneyball this bad boy, okay? So I could see that. But once again, I feel like Brook Lopez becomes a better play if Robert Williams sits. And if Robert Williams sits, then we are looking at Al Horford, okay? Al Horford is someone, even given the price point, is still probably too cheap. Like if he gets 20 to 30 minutes, very cheap price tag. Like he should be able to get, let's just say 4X, but we can see as the upside to go for 6X, 7X at this price tag. Okay, he is going to be a highly intriguing play as well. I love the fact that we don't have to play him at center. We can play him at a forward position as well. So from there, like Marcus Smart's okay. If you end up on him, you end up on him. Not terrible. I guess Malcolm Brogdon going against the Bucks, probably too priced up. Derek White getting a few minutes as well. Cheap price tag, someone that you could look at. Jaylen Brown, Tatum. I feel like the only way we can play these guys is really in a game stack. Showdown wise, like you definitely want to be trying to play them, but given their price tags, it is difficult to make them work. I feel like you'd almost have to play both of them and try to secure like 100 DK points combined with those two. Like if you're playing them, play them together, combine the 100 DK points, maybe throw in Al Horford, maybe throw in Brook Lopez, and then try to find value elsewhere. Like a little bit of a mini game stack there. I don't mind that approach. I like that approach, okay? It's just tough to make it work, especially going against the Bucks where, it's a pretty good team. I mean, these matchups are set up to be playoff preview matchups. They're set up to be playoff intensity matchups. So I could see this game being a little bit lower scoring. So now switching up, we're going to get into Memphis versus Golden State. Another game in which could be a fun game, okay? Ja Morant could easily go off against the Golden State Warriors. That wouldn't be shocking, but he has been on a weird kind of trend, not playing all too well, shooting the ball poorly. Shot the ball poorly there, shot the ball poorly there. I love to target players that are coming in off of poor shooting nights, just natural regression. If they have a poor night shooting one night, expect them to have a better night shooting the next night. Okay, that's basically what happened. Look at OKC, great matchup. Couldn't shoot the ball well, only played 16 minutes, but next game out, shot the ball extremely well. Okay, so that's kind of what I like to look at. Desmond Bane is going to be back, but he only played 24 minutes in that. First game back was a little bit of a blowout, so I think that is why. As price tag does feel a little bit too priced up, but with Desmond Bane back, it feels like everyone's a little bit too priced up for Memphis. Like maybe Jackson Jr., if he's going to get 28 or so minutes, could he get a double-double? Sure. And that would be intriguing, especially going against the Golden State Warriors, which defensively, if you look at centers against Golden State, that is a matchup that you want to be targeting. So he is someone that I do think is going to be in the player pool, someone you can play in GPPs. Not exactly someone that you're forcing into your builds, though. After that, let's get into Golden State. So we know Curry is going to be out. Okay. We got to wait and see, is Clay going to play? Okay. If he sits, and if Dante DiVincenzo sits, that makes this slate a little bit easier value price point wise. Okay. We probably would still be looking at Jordan Poole. He has kind of been a letdown the last couple of slates, especially with those players out, because the games have just been blowouts. Okay. We need Golden State to keep this game close. That is really what the slate's going to come down to, I think, is getting Golden State not get blown out. If they don't, Jordan Poole going to be a strong play. If they do get blown out, someone like Moses here, he'd be someone that either way would be a good play because he's still going to get the minutes either way, still going to get, over 5X, still would be a strong price point play. Same thing for someone like Ty Jerome. Like the minutes will be there kind of regardless of if it's a blowout or not. So he'd be someone given the price point I think we could look at as well. Under 4K, I like that a lot. Anthony Lamb, kind of the same thing, although he is not someone that you really go out of your way to play DFS wise, but someone you could potentially be looking at. And then if it is a game that is a blowout, someone like James Wiseman could have a great game as well. That's not exactly something I want to attack, but maybe, toss him into 5% of builds, hoping that it is a blowout. But really, that's my long way of saying, yes, Jordan Poole is going to be a good play. And then you're kind of just hoping for a blowout between the two guards. Okay. I don't mind Ty Jerome as it sits right now, just given the price point. I think he could have a path to some success. Now getting into the last game on the slate, we're looking at the Phoenix Suns to start. So we need to get news on Devin Booker and Cameron Payne. If these two players sit again, Chris Paul would be a good enough play most likely. Okay, struggled in his last game out, and that's kind of Chris Paul. We know it. Like, never a safe play and never someone you feel good about playing, but at the same time could easily go for 50 DK points. You know, it's a risk reward based play. That's just who he is. And that's kind of the unfortunate side of it. Now, Washington Jr. is back. So if Payne and if Booker sit, I think he is someone that we could look at value-wise as well. If he could fall into, let's say, even 15 minutes, he has been a strong DK point per minute player. So if he can get 15 minutes at 3.2, it'd be tough to imagine him not scoring around 18 DK points. Okay, and if those two are out, you kind of expect him to get those minutes. From there, Landry Shamet is finally priced down again. It was unfortunate. So like this slate, we knew he was going to be a good play, especially given the price point. And then for this slate, he was priced up $800 more. So it's like, I can't really play it. Now we're in that middle spot, that sweet spot. He is still firmly in play if Booker and if Cameron Payne sit out. He is someone that should be locked in to get around 25 DK points. He is someone that still should be a strong price point play. And I love the fact that we can play him at the guard or forward position. That's going to open up a lot on this slate. So Josh Okogie, it could be something that goes off with Johnson out. I kind of expect him to get the minutes. Could be an okay play. DeAndre Ayton, he should be a good play. Okay, if the minutes are there, if he gets 30 minutes, he should be able to get to 40 DK points. It's just the big question mark there, minutes-wise. So let's go ahead and finish up with Denver. So Jamal Murray going to be active, and he is someone that I kind of expect to rise to the occasion. Christmas Day game, I expect him to step up and have a really good game. Coming off of a really good game as well, he is someone that's basically the same play as Chris Paul, hit or miss, but cheaper. Okay, so I'd much rather play Jamal Murray, hoping that we get that upside game from him, rather than forcing in Chris Paul into a build. And then with Denver, pretty much healthy, it makes all of them a tough play. Jokic, once again, could easily go off, and that's the biggest tough part about this slate is which player do you pay up for? I feel like it's going to be tough to pay up for Giannis, although, come on, it wouldn't be shocking if he goes off. Jokic, probably a good pay up play. I like Luka the most, and then Embiid, and then LeBron. Like, that's the issue that we have on this slate. Also, the issue is that we have some really cheap center plays that we can roll with instead of paying up at center. So it does kind of make natural sense to go with the value at those positions as it sits right now. So just trying to give you guys a little bit of a first look build. An easy pivot I would make here would be, possibly instead of going with, Ty Jerome there, we go with someone like maybe Spencer Dinwiddie, just for now. Jamal Murray, I would love to fit in there. That would have made me feel very good about this. Maybe instead of Austin Reeves. All right, I did a little bit of adjusting here. So maybe instead of Westbrook, we go Murray, Poole, we still go Reeves. Then you have a decent amount of salary left over for now. Guard position. Then you go one of the Golden State Warrior potential value that could be on this slate, or you go Washington Jr. as well. So that's kind of how it's in right now. I am recording this like at noon on Christmas Eve, so a lot can change, but I wanted to give you guys enough time to be able to go ahead and make the decisions you need possible, give you guys that information you need to succeed. All right, but that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like and subscribe. Have a great Christmas and a happy New Year as well, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support throughout the season, NBA DFS season, NFL season, and throughout the year. Appreciate it. Good luck tonight. Happy holidays. And as always, let's keep cashing.